Hello, punters, and welcome to Big Red and the Silver Fox. This week on the show, we're going to cover Rose Hill Gardens, where we're on a soft six at the moment. Rails in the 2 metre position, and we're going to go over the Golden Slipper. Welcome, Tony. How are you, mate?
Mate, bloody good, bloody good. Nice little start to our journey last week. We've managed to find a couple of winners. I had a couple of people give me a call and say thanks. So yeah, looking to back it up this week with another couple of winners.
Yeah, I thought you were a good thing beat on Pride of Jenny. I did so much work up front and even was kicking back on the line, I thought.
Yeah, your Melbourne Mariners Vista. It softened us up a little bit and took the best out of us and made it a little bit hard for us. But we weren't too far away at the finish, and $34, and then I think we got $8 a place, so wasn't too bad in the end.
Yeah, no, it was a good run, especially when Anavisto's finished tailed off out the back and it was still up there fighting out the finish.
Your $15 Cepheus didn't go too bad either, mate. Eh?
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't see the change of tactics from the stable saying that they were going to go forward, but they Nashy took the reins and went straight forward. That's for sure, and gave him something to catch, and it was a good win.
Yeah, certainly was.
So our favourite is Cylinder, $4. Learning to Fly, sevens. King's Gambit, $9. Little Bros, tens. Don Corleone, tens. Red Resistance, 11s. Steel City, 15s. Shinzo, 16s. Platinum Jubilee, 17s. And Barber, 18s. And Longer, the rest. We'll have a look at the speed map here, courtesy of our brand new sponsor, Punting Form. How good's that? 1 week in, we've got a sponsor, mate.
Mate, nice work, nice work. They have a great product and they're finding decent people to promote their work. And they must have liked what we had to promote and what they saw of us last week. Found a few winners using them. So I'm quite happy to stick with Punting Form.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at the speed map here, which we've put together on the Punting Form page. Any comments on here?
Listening to Gay last week, wasn't happy that Red Resistance wasn't sort of let run. So I'm sure as anything from that barrier, it's gonna be souping straight across. It's going to open them up a little bit, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of horses with it. Where you've got Cylinder exploring, they might actually press there because they know that it's probably a horse that can take a little bit of sting out of them. If nothing takes the sting out of Red Resistance, it's going to get an easy sort of a run and make it a little bit technical for these other horses to come from back and give them a chase.
Yeah, I sort of played in the perfection of the favourites here because they've drawn 3 and 4, Cylinder and Learning to Fly. And I think they just follow each other wherever they go and they let all these horses cross from the outside. But they also don't want to be too negative out of the barriers because then they'll be 3 or 4 back on the fence. So I think they want to give it a dig out at the start to make these ones on the out wide work to get across. And then they're really getting the ideal runs just in behind them there. This is the last start replay here of Cylinder, our favourite. We've also got Red Resistance in this race that led them up. What did you think about this leading?
Yeah, as I said earlier, Red Resistance definitely didn't sort of get, it wasn't let run. Preble was trying to ride it at the nice leaders race. You saw Cylinder. He just sat up there, eyeballed him when it was time. Put a bit of pressure on him, make him work, and he was just too good a horse for him over the end. What we're sort of looking for is Cylinder just to get back in the mix a little bit this weekend. Um, Red Resistance coming across from the outside alley. He'll be trying to lead and run the race and suit himself, sort of thing.
Yeah, I thought I agree with Gay. Like Red Resistance is just like you need to just let it go and just let it run its own race. Like he rode it way too pretty, and he sort of once he's sitting there eyeballing with Cylinder, who Red Resistance was 6 weeks between runs, so he was always going to be not as fit as what Cylinder was coming in off a run 2 weeks before. So I thought the ride was a bit cute, which we don't think we'll see that on the weekend. They'll just be putting the foot down and straight to the front. Here's a replay of the last time we seen King's Gambit at the track. It was behind Cylinder again. Cylinder, Platinum Jubilee, both come out of this race. This time just sort of was a strange ride from Nashy. You see him come out here on the turn. It looks like he's going to peel out 3 wide, and he just stays in the slipstream of Cylinder for like an extra 100 meters than what I thought he should. And then he's ended up running the quickest last 400 of the race after being hemmed away for that first like 100 to 150 meters of the race and finished off nicely down the outside here. And I just think he's a massive chance. What do you think of the ride there, Tony?
Yeah, he cuddled him as long as he possibly could. He gave him every favour. He took Cylinder a little bit too cheaply in my books. He thought he had him covered, straightening up. Yeah, you don't see jocks of his quality come around the turn and cuddle them like that if they don't think they've got a hell of a lot up their sleeves. So reading between the lines, he thought he had them all beat and was just cuddling him.
Yeah, well, he went to pieces in the yard that day too. Like I seen him in the yard, he started to carry on. He was sweating up. It was a hot day, which we're gonna have another hot day again on the weekend. But um, he's the way that I've actually landed because I've got to follow my future in. So I've just got to stick with him and just hope that he can get over the line for me. I'm hoping he just has an ideal parade. If he parades well, I think he's very hard to beat. And then I think the market's got it pretty right. I think Cylinder and Learning to Fly, they get the runs just in behind the speed there. And I think if they should overdo it in front and they're just going to need a little bit of luck on the turn. Whoever's inside there'll be a bit of jockeying there, trying to keep each other in pockets. But I think those two are probably my dangers. And outside of that, Little Bros, I thought about I thought about tipping him or having a saver on him, but Blue Diamond form sucks me in every year. Every year I watch the Blue Diamond and I go, I'm going to back this horse in the slipper. I'll back it in the slipper, and they seem to run all right in the slipper. They just never seem to win it. The Sydney form just seems to stand up. So he's probably a place chance.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to make two grand finals in one preparation, especially for little babies.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, learning to fly. I've got it on top. I think she'll be the one to beat. Barber's been my horse of the 2-year-old season so far. He let me down in the diamond last week, but I'm still going to have something on him. I think he's going to be. You'll see a different horse when he saddles up there on Saturday. And what was the Don Corleone? He
Oh
was
yeah.
just way too unlucky. He was just way too unlucky in the diamond. I think fair, all things being fair, he gives Little Bros a hell of a run for his money. About time we found the best bet for the meeting, mate. I'm a solid Queenslander. I live by the rule. There's only two states to be in, Queensland and Pist. And after Uncommon James wins on Saturday, I'll be in both. He's my best bet of the day. Uncommon James, race 9, number 2.
My best bet comes up in the lucky last. So we're finishing the day strong if we can get both best bets up, being race 9 and race 10. My best bet is another Queenslander, actually. Chris Munt's trained Palacipan. First up, Huey Bowman on, coming off a really good barrier trial. Just absolutely savaged the line. 4 lines last prep, behind Chain of Lightning, Nimalee, straight at the trip against Nimalee, and still nearly beat it. Draws barrier 5, drawn to sit in just behind the speed, and I think heels out and wins on Saturday.
Tommy out at Bill Wheeler will be bloody happy you've tipped it, mate.
Told me the owner.
Yeah, Tommy's got a couple of hairs in his tail. He'll be cheering that you've had something on you've brought it to the top of the list.
Rightio. Well, we didn't have any luck last week in the quaddie, but we will go again this week. We got close. We got a bit excited there in the second race when Pride of Jenny nearly lobbed because we ended up throwing in as a late selection when we had the scratching of Larks per run. But it wasn't meant to be. We didn't have the last winner. But we'll press on this week and we'll have another crack.
Hey, race 7, George Ryder. First leg
George
of the
Rock.
quaddie, got Animo. Mo's biggest fan. He's been my favourite horse since Winks retired. Love him. Just keeps giving. Doesn't let you down. Only horse that I see as a chance of getting anywhere near him was Golden Mile stablemate. I think he's the up and coming horse. He's a 2-4 horse. A big fan of that sort of form line going into their third run. They usually produce. So I've gone 1 and 9 as my 2 picks in the George Ryder.
Yep, I'm just going to add in Artorias because I made him the lay of the day first up, and he beat me with that amazing turn of foot. I hated to see it, but I can't let him go around again without having him in, just for mental health reasons. So we'll throw him
Great
in.
to have a quality of Zach Burton back riding in New South Wales.
Yeah, yeah, he ran a few winners there on Saturday. Zach.
Had a had a fat day. Then we go to the slipper, mate. I've got I think we finished with a few numbers in here. I had 2, 4, 8, and 10, and I think you added a couple into there, didn't you?
Yeah, I added the 5. So we got the 2, which is Barber. The 4. What was the second one?
Don Corleone.
Don Corleone.
5 was Cylinder, and 10 was 8 was King's Gambit, and 10 was Learning to Fly.
Yep. So we'll go pretty wide there to try and keep us alive through the slipper. We'll move on to the third leg, which is the sprint race.
I think we can. We only need one horse here. He races good Queensland way or Melbourne way. We only really need the two, but we just got a couple of little bankers there. Zoo Style. He wins all his races early in his preparation. Collins got him down here. On Song, I think he'll be hard to beat. And I give Mariama a little rough chance at a knockout. So I went 2, 4, and 8 again.
I'm going to throw in Asphora coming off the Melbourne form behind Uncommon James. Back to 1100 metres should suit it. And I'll throw in Shades of Rose first up from Spell 2 at $9.50. And the
Yeah,
lucky
nice.
last, I've got the best bet in the last, so I'm just going to put the one runner in. I'll have Palacipan. Who do you want in with that?
I wanted Larkspur run last week. I think sort of we let her out of the gate a little bit too quick, so we sacked her on running second. I'm going to keep her in there, and I gave Jump the Broom, Brenton Avdulla, John Hawkes. They love this day. It's a big day in Sydney, and that's when this combination comes to the fore. So I think they'll be somewhere there fighting out the finish too. So we settled on 1, 4, and 6.
So we landed on 3 runners in the first, 192. We have 5 runners in the second, 2, 4, 8, 10, and 5. 5 in the third. We had 2, 4, 6, 9, and 8. And then the last we only had 3. So we got 1, 4, and 6, which for $100 will get us 44.5%. How's that sound, mate?
Mate, I'll be happy. I'll be happy if all the outsiders lob there, and we're sharing in about 30,000. I'll be cheering, mate. Thanks.
Well, hopefully King's Gambit wins, and if it wins, I'll send you a carton anyway to soften the blow.
Original Northern. We're trying to get them on board as sponsors, mate. So we're going with Great Northern Originals, eh?
Right, we'll lock it in then. Get King's Gambit home, and I'll send them up.
Cheers, mate.
Right, right, punters. That'll do us for the week. You have a good weekend, Tony, and I'll catch you next week.
See you, mate.
See you, mate.